Hi, my name is Ajay. I'm a musician and pianist and teacher. I used to have a website, but I'm taking it down. I'm documenting all my blogs on the website in this video playlist. Enjoy. Okay, this is the last blog on my website. I had written it on June 5, that is more than a year ago. I didn't write any new blogs after that. Sharing ideas at OOTB, that's out of the box. My experience talking about online teaching tools. Chanel reached out to me. Chanel is a good friend from FSM days. She's also a piano teacher, and she is the co-founder of Out of the Box. She and Nush Lewis, both of them founded OOTB. It is a growing network dedicated to reimagining how music is taught and experienced. It emerged from the work of Offset Foundation, creating space for dialogue, collaboration, meaningful professional growth. So it's a safe space where people can discuss music. They've got some WhatsApp groups. They've got 3 WhatsApp groups. One is for discussing music, one is for sale of musical instruments, and one is for job opportunities. 3 very, very important groups. And I think musicians from Bangalore, Mumbai, Pune, all over the country are on that group. So it's become a big group now. I think more than 200 teachers, definitely. So Chanel reached out to me. She was like, can you do a 15-minute presentation? They used to have weekly presentations on different topics. She was like, can you do a presentation on online teaching tools? I think she had read my blog, so she knew how I use how I use different tools for my online teaching. So I said, okay. So I did a nice PPT and I was sharing screen. So a few snippets of my slideshow, and I'll talk about the different points that I discussed. First point was YouTube videos. Now in my lessons, I teach some things very, very often because everyone has to learn them, right? Scales, arpeggios, national anthem, Vande Mataram, happy birthday, etc. Basic piano accompaniment exercises and drills. So I've made videos, a good quality video, where you can see the piano, virtual piano, you can see what notes I'm playing, I'm explaining it to them in a nice manner. When I'm teaching online, not every time do I have access to a great setup. So if I don't have a good setup, I just send them the video. I tell them you can watch this for reference. That saves us time and it's just easier. On my YouTube channel, I have over 200 videos. Most of them are unlisted. That means not everyone can access to them because they are very specific to, they are very specific to that student. So it's not all public. Next point was OBS. OBS is a software that I'm using right now also. It basically lets you switch between different camera angles like this. Why is it useful? Because sometimes I have to share sheet music. I have to still talk to them. Then I have to show them my virtual keyboard, different setups, and I can switch between scenes. So what is OBS useful for? Sharing a full screen or just a part of it. Showing your piano using a virtual keyboard, using multiple camera angles, switch between these scenes and recording lessons. It takes time to learn. It can be a little heavy on your computer, but it is worth it. I've also shared some photos of how I use it in lessons. These are some snippets. And free audio editing software was the next point. I use DAWs, digital audio workstations like Audacity, Ableton Live to compile assignments, record and edit audios, add voice comments for student recordings. So first one is of course compiling assignments. If there are different things that I want to send to a student, I put them in one file and send it to them so that it stays in one place. Second is editing audio, you know what that is. And third one is very useful for teaching. If a student sends me their homework, I don't want to sit and type, okay, at 30 seconds you went off, at 45 seconds you have to do this. What I can do is I can let it play and I can overdub my voice on it. And I can say, okay, this point, you have to work on this part, that part. So I edit. So it's more, it's easier to imagine what needs to improve at what point. I find it easier. Next point was music notation software. I use MuseScore and I create custom exercises for my students. I write down compositions made by students like I spoke about in one blog previously. Making lead sheets for learning new pieces for my shows. I've also spoken about this in one of my previous videos. So these are some snippets from my experiments with the MuseScore. So the first one is documenting a student's composition. The second one is a custom exercise that I've made for students. It's a Kodai method exercise to count rhythms. The third one is, I don't know, it's again a composition, but I use it for different custom exercises made on MuseScore. Okay, this one is a very specific exercise. I wanted a student to learn about tied notes. So I gave them a simple rhythm, then I added something else on top of that. Then I added something else in the next 2 bars, and then I added a tied note. So the ending tied note was what I wanted to learn I wanted them to learn. So I gradually build up the difficulty level to bring them to that rhythmic element. Anyway, next element is using AI for teaching. I don't use AI. Uh, I mean, I do use AI a lot, but I don't use it to make music. I use it to brainstorm lesson plans, drafting emails and messages, learning new skills like coding. So, the first and second point is basically just text based, nothing much to say. The third point is interesting. I made a small app that creates a WhatsApp homework message for students. It adds date and time and everything. So, I just have to write the student's name, what homework they need to do in technical work pieces and remarks, and it creates and copies to my clipboard a WhatsApp message. For example, it adds the date and time also. I don't have to do that manually. So after every lesson I used to just make homework and send it to them. So it reads like this. If it's a homework for Chanel, so Friday 25th April 2025, hi Chanel, here's your homework for the week. Technical work, F sharp major scale, descending passage, so very specific. Pieces, Bach invention, bars 17 to 21, work on dynamics. Second point, work on own composition, add the staccato section, and then remarks by the grade 8 theory book. And so it made my life very easy. I do not know anything about coding, but I used AI to make a Python script and made a app like that. Next one is music theory websites. There are some really useful tools. I use musictheory.net quite a lot to do quizzes with my students. It's a nice refresher. Like, I make them play a piece for some time. Then we don't want a break, but we want a change of scene so that they can come back to the piece with a fresher mind. So I make them do a node identification quiz. I give them a timed quiz. It really freshens them up. The next one is ABRSM theory app. It is great for practicing on the go. If you have to give the ABRSM theory exam, this app is something that's compulsory. You have to buy that because that's how you get to know what kind of questions you'll get in the exam as well. It's all objective questions. Next one is MTB theory courses. This one I have explored a little bit, but MTB has put in a lot of work to make theory interactive and visual. So do check out their website, and it's definitely better than solving it in a workbook because you get a visual and audio cue of what is happening with the music. These are some snippets from musictheory.net. The first image is teaching you compound time with some visuals. Second one is a note identification quiz. And the third one is about how you can customize each exercise or quiz. Sometimes if I'm giving my students an interval based quiz, I want them to only learn about, I want to quiz them only on major and minor intervals. So I can select the ones that I want and it gives me questions based on that. So it's very customizable. So musictheory.net is my favorite out of the three. Websites and blogs. So I did a little bit of self-promotion here. You can make your own website and blogs to share your work, offer downloadable materials like I've done for transcribing and rhythm exercises. How to show off your teaching style, to show your teaching, not show off. Improve your online presence with the right SEO. So which I could not do actually because my website did not pick up so much and I did not get a lot of business. Most of the business I got was from word of mouth, which is what happens in the music business. Unless you do a lot of work on Instagram, which I did not do. The last one, which are the things I would like to try, theoria.com for music theory. Didn't spend a lot of time exploring that. Google Classroom is something that Aniruddha uses quite a lot. But I think the workflow suits him more than me, so I'm never tried it. Note Rush app and Moose, that is Zoom for musicians, never tried it. Lately I've started to go for a very very simple setup for online teaching, because if you are going for a very elaborate setup, it takes time to get that ready also. So most of the times, like now I have a list of things that I can directly send to them. Like I've got a lot of videos that I do send to my students, so I don't spend a lot of time setting up my online teaching, but I do spend a lot of time creating resources for them. Q&A, how did the Q&A go? After the presentation, we spoke about MuseScore, apps, personal experiences and tips. It moved to topics like extra visual aids in lessons and how teachers can create and sell their teaching resources. It was a warm and helpful session and I'm grateful I got to be a part of it. Thank you, OOTB. I've got 5 comments on this. Whenever long comment. I think this ACAB is a very bot-like person, and definitely this is ChatGPT because he's selling his tuning equipment, I guess. Zhao Sunny is, if you are looking to stay on schedule, online digital clock can be a surprisingly effective tool, unlike system clocks. Okay, one very important tool that I just thought of it now after reading this comment was my jazz teacher Aman used to use this Calendly. It schedules lessons. So you put your calendar, you fill up your calendar like this. I'll show you how I use my calendar like this. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, Google Calendar, and you sync it with Calendly. And if a student wants to book a lesson with you, they get to see what your free slots are, and they can book a 45-minute session with you in the time that you've kept free for teaching. So it's very useful that way, and it syncs with your Google Calendar. So yeah, that is one thing that I did not mention here. Online metronome free app, again useless comment. Then my dad has commented, nice combo of music fundamentals with state-of-the-art technology. That's the innovation, that is innovation of at work. Keep it up, can have a global reach. Thank you, dad. Dad always comments on my videos, always comments on my blogs, so it's a very helpful presence. Thank you.